to the ruffle of the leaves, the rustle of the leaves, and the wind blowing. It's a nice, cool morning, and I've already gone to dialysis. See, I've already gone to dialysis and decided, even though I'm in a lot of pain and my joints hurt, that I would take him out because he deserves it. And I'm just pushing through everything, you guys. So, for those of you who don't know, I'm trying to get on the kidney transplant list. And they told me that it will be very hard to transplant me because there's a test that they did, and I forgot what the name of it is, but it shows that, let me turn the camera around. Come here, Ozzy. It shows that I will not match 98% of the population. And so that's kind of like a bummer, but I'm not going to give up. So, to those of you who don't know, I'm going to turn the camera back around. Um, I've been on dialysis for 23 years total. And I started in August of 1992. I got off for 10 years. And they told me the transplant that I got in 2008, my doctor said it may last a year because the kidney had severe damage. It had hydronephrosis, which is like, blown up. Like, think of a balloon when it's flat and then you blow air into it. And it had acute tubular necrosis, which means that the filters and the tubules had severe damage. So um, they transplanted the kidney inside of my body just like that. But it lasted 10 years, you guys, because of the grace and power of God. And many people were surprised that I was still going with that kidney. It took a lot of work and I had to drink a gallon of water and two 20-ounce Sprites every day. If I didn't do that, the creatinine would start rising. So I'll talk about this more in another video, but what happened to my kidneys when I was a little girl, they didn't find out till I was 11 years old what it was that was destroying my kidneys, but it was lupus. I was 11 when they found out, but I started having like swelling in my face and feet and all that when I was younger. It really got pronounced when I was around 10. I know I look a mess, but I went to dialysis at 5 this morning and I didn't stop to brush my hair or anything when I got home. So, lupus was the culprit. So, I had systemic lupus erythematosus and lupus nephritis. So, it was literally affecting everything. I used to get angina, which is like a pain in your chest. When I was like 10, 11, and 12, I would just fall from the pain. My bones and joints and muscles would hurt so bad that I would have to come home from school. In my 7th grade year, I only went to school for 1 month. That's how horrible it was. I was in and out of the hospital, seemed like every 2 weeks. So that's what happened. And from then on, you know, it was a struggle. By the time I turned 18 in July of 1992, and in August that year, I started dialysis. We knew that I was going to need dialysis because the doctors had already told us when I was like 12. And I told my doctor, I said, I'd rather die, because he took me around in his clinic. The clinic was attached to his office building. And he took me around and showed me what dialysis was and what it looked like. Remember, I was only 12, so I didn't know anything about that. just sounded scary. And when I saw those people in there, I told him I'd rather die. But when the time came, it was an emergency. I was 18 and I wanted to live. Come here. So I'm 51 years old now, you guys. So I've been dealing with this forever. But I'm never, ever, ever going to give up on life. I had breast cancer. I've had so many surgeries and procedures. And when I had my bilateral mastectomy, both of my breasts removed, I let them well, I chose it to have breast implants, some little tiny ones. And now I'm thinking I'm going to have them removed because I'm having joint pain, night sweats, just all the signs and symptoms of something aggravating my immune system. And I think that's what's going on because when I got them put in, it took about a year for me to start having joint swelling and pain and can't, really walk well and just just horrible. And I'd rather feel well and be okay than having these for vanity reasons. And already I'm trying to get a transplant. By the way, you guys, I've never asked anyone this before. You guys are going to be the first. If you would like to be tested to donate a kidney to me, let me know at jsscblackbird@gmail.com. I'm actively looking just like the doctors told me to. It's hard to ask. I mean, I feel like I'm going to cry, but it won't happen otherwise because I've had so many blood transfusions in my life because when your kidneys don't work, you can't produce new blood cells. Um, Blood cells are made in your bone marrow, and the kidney sends a hormone called erythropoietin to your bone marrow to make new red cells. And when you don't have kidneys, you can't. So we get injections, synthetic erythropoietin, and it hurts like hell. When I get it, my bones hurt, my long bones. And I never put the two together until about 5 years ago. But I just want a chance at life. I want to go back to work. I want to be able to travel. You're tethered to dialysis when you start dialysis. Unless you do peritoneal and you can travel with your equipment, which I did for 4 years when I was in my teens. I actually had to finish high school uh, doing my dialysis exchange at lunch instead of eating. So, but then I had to go back, I had to go on hemodialysis when I was like 22. So it's been a long road, but I thank God I can still walk. I was told a story today about another patient who was standing at the bar, leaned over in their kitchen and broke her rib. Why did that happen to her? Because your bones become brittle after a while because kidneys filter out something called phosphorus, which is in everything we eat and drink. When your kidneys don't filter them out, it pulls calcium and phosphorus work inversely. So it pulls your calcium from your bones and deposits the calcium into soft tissue and muscle. And your body slowly becomes calcified from the inside out. And then the phosphorus, which is supposed to stay in the vessels and be, excreted in your urine, gets deposited into the bones where the calcium is supposed to be. And so when you don't have the calcium there, the bones become brittle. And you could be walking and just break a hip. When I was first on dialysis, a girl that I went to high school with, her mother had been on dialysis for several years and she broke her hip getting into the shower. So, the kidneys are responsible for so many things. A person can live if, with one kidney, and it will do the job that both kidneys are supposed to do. So, that's the great thing about that. If you're going to walk in the ants, come here. If you're Ozzy, please come here. Do not walk in that. Come on. Um, if you decide to donate, and the team can tell you more about these things and the risks than I can. But if you do decide to donate, your body, because it's your own kidney, will automatically pick that job up that the other kidney was doing, and they can explain it to you way better than I can. And they do not give the results of the person's compatibility to the person who needs the kidney. They discuss that directly with the person who wants to donate. There's a story like Selena Gomez. Remember, she had a kidney transplant. She has lupus. And her friend, Francie, I don't remember her last name or if that's her last name, um, donated. But when she was tested, they were supposed to, and this came out of her own mouth, the donor, they were supposed to tell her if she was a match or not and allow her to make that final decision. And what they did was they told Selena, and Selena called her with the results, which was a huge pressure and unfair, if you ask me. So come on, Ozzy. And just not right. It wasn't right. But anyway, so that was my little short, live for today. If you guys want to know more about what's going on with me, I mean, we can do another live or I can make a video and discuss. It will be long, so I would have to do it in parts because I've had over 50 procedures and surgeries in my life. I'm so scarred up from my neck, see, all the way to my waist. And, but those are battle scars. And I thank God that I came through it all. The power of God, you guys. That's why I'm still here. When I started dialysis, there were so many people that I saw die. And being back on dialysis, I went back on dialysis in 2018. I've seen so many people die again. And for some reason, God still has me after all these years since 1992. So let me know if you guys want to know more. Ozzy and I are going to go home now. Hey, Oz. Say hi. All right, you guys, have a great day. And thank you all for tuning in. What do you mean, Brayson Logan? You don't have money. I don't have any money either. But if a person decides to be a donor, my insurance would pay all of your medical costs. And the team would go over it better with you. You wouldn't have to come out of pocket. There are also funds available for if the person, for the time off from your job. There are funds that will cover, and there are two different ones. I can't remember the names of them, which is why the team would be a better option to learn. I'm at Houston Methodist, but there are funds that cover your missed wages while you recover. So there will be no out-of-pocket costs, and the surgery is done laparoscopically most of the time. And it's a little hole prick and air blown in, and they get the kidney out and sew you back up, a little bitty tiny hole. But that's also something that you could speak to the team about. But there are no out of pocket um, costs for being tested, for recovery. Um, but that's something that they can explain to you because I don't know the name of any of those funds, but I know that is something they told me about. I should have that information in front of me, but it's always better to speak to the professionals. But if you would like to be tested, then let me know. Thank you. Say thank you, Ozzy. Say thank you, little boy. He's ready to go home. Y'all have a great day.